Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Crystal Flaffy, and today, January 1st, uh, is this Astromon Good series video of the year. We are talking about Harlequin, or Harlequin. Yeah, Harlequin, I think. Yeah. Uh, Harlequin is the current Nat 4 Rebirth Festival Mon going on right now. Uh, so yeah, we're gonna give some tips and stuff about it. We're gonna talk about it, all that. Honestly, I am kind of disappointed that we only had one round of Pixie Rebirth in the middle of December. We should have Pixie again right now, but I understand that the devs wanted to end the or start the new year with something new. But still, my alt could have really used an Evo 3 Fire Pixie, which I didn't manage to get the first time around. So, very unfortunate on my part. But I know there are others that did manage to get the Pixies that they wanted, so shoutouts to you. Good job. I just didn't have enough Nat Force to sacrifice on my alt, so yeah, there's that. But anyway, I do really like Harlequin as a Mon, so I'm not too bummed out about it, and it'll be very good for both my accounts. So yeah. Here's Fire. Well, let's look at the Evo 1, which is super cute. Which, like, at first I thought it was a boy, but, like, reading the guide description story thing, you find out that it's a woman. So, well, actually, I don't know. Oh, yeah, okay, this one's talking about a king, and that's why it says he. It's not talking about... Oh, yeah, see here, Miss Harlequin. Okay, so it is a woman. And yeah, it has, like, the pigtails in the back, so... Yeah. And there's Evo 2. Wait, oh, something I did want to comment about the appearance. So, the animation. This one does a flip, which is so cool, and then this one does, like, a handstand, well, a one-handed handstand, and then flips over. And then this one just, like, laughs, which I kind of find disappointing. I would have liked to see this one do a flip, too. That would have been very cool. But anyway, that's just nitpicking. It doesn't really matter. Looking at the variant, I do like the variant more than the regular. I love the pink hair, and just, like, the colors just seem more vibrant to me, I guess. Yeah. Looking at the stats, she is a tank. Her HP is really good, and her attack is okay. Her defense is, like, okay-ish, but it is pretty close to the low side of things, which is unfortunate, because you would want her to be tanking hits rather than dealing damage. So it'd be nice if her attack and defense could have switched around or something. Looking at the skills, so all Harlequin have the Death Blow leader skill, so critical hit damage increase, and it's 40 to 45%, and it's all content, which is really good. That's very nice for helping your mons deal more damage. Not suited so much for for fire, but it is helpful for a couple of the other ones, which we'll get into when we get to those ones. Looking at the 3-star, we have Thirst, 80% chance to lower the skill gauge by 20% for 2 turns. Skill books bring that up to a 90% chance and give a 20% damage boost. 5-star is attack down, 60% 2 turns. Skill books bring it up to 70% and give a 20% damage boost there. Where you'd want to use it, PvP defense is the #1 place where it would do okay. It can be used in Wood Colossus. Thirst would be good for making sure that the healing golem doesn't get its bar full, so it can't do that massive attack up multiplier thing. And then also for Titans for that attack down if you don't have other attack down mods. But and that's just me saying where it could be used. By no means does this mon really excel in any of those places. Against the Wood Colossus, you really want SP Siphon more so than Thirst, because Thirst can be resisted, and it's not a 100% chance, whereas SP Siphon pretty much is a 100% chance, unless your mon is crit reliant and you don't have high crit rate. But besides that, it is a 100% chance, and it cannot be resisted, so SP Siphon definitely does a lot better there. And then against Titans, where you'd want that attack down, there are much better attack down mons, and the fact that Thirst is useless against Titans doesn't really help Harlequin's case. Well, Fire Harlequin's case. And then in PvP, again, Thirst can be resisted. While Thirst is good on AoE, I think it does pretty well there. On single target, it's not the best. It would be much better. This Mon would be much better if it had SP Siphon instead of Thirst. But yeah, that's really all I can say about its skills. It can be used in those places that I mentioned, though. By no means is it a bad Mon. It's just there's a lot better options. And then, of course, I should point out that 70% 2-turn attack down is pretty low. It'd be nice if it went up to 80% at the least. So, yeah. How I would build it, though, if I did want to use it, if you really like the design, you can. I would build it. You can go HP defense, but because her defense is so low and her HP is pretty high, I would go HP defense. She'd be a lot more survivable that way, I think. But anyway, let's move on to water. And water is probably the most coveted of the Harlequins for most people. And just look at the design. Really, slow down, moving too fast. I do really like the regular here. But then I also do, I like the variant slightly more because of that purple hair. That purple hair really does it for me, guys. Looking at the stats, she's a balance type, but she is built more like an attacker because her defense is a bit low. And her attack is on the level of Nat 3 attackers. And her defense is on the level of like Nat 5 attackers. But, I don't know. I guess it balances out. Her HP is pretty good, though. Her attack is good. You do want her for damage, and that extra bit of defense than attackers normally get is very nice for her. It'll help with her survivability quite a bit. But you will have to keep in mind her attack is lower than most other attackers, so she won't be doing as much damage, but we'll get more into that after we talk about the skills. So on the 3-star, she has Courage Strike. It is crit reliant and gets a 20% damage boost from books. Her 5-star is Attack Down, also crit reliant, and it's 80% 2 turns. Gets a 25% damage boost from books there. I do want to mention, though, I really hate when a Mon is crit reliant and doesn't have a 100% chance for their skill. If we look at something like Dark Thor, his defense down on 3-star is 100% chance on crit. Harlequin's is only 80% on crit, which is annoying to me. If it is crit reliant, it should be 100% in my opinion. But that's besides the point. You will be building her with crit rate anyway because her Courageous Strike does require it. So you should have her as close to 100% crit rate as possible anyway. So it's not too big of a deal. Your main purpose for using her is that Courageous Strike more so than the Attack Down. Though the Attack Down is very nice, she is pretty much a water version of Fire Shinobi, of course with lower stats being an Nat 4 rather than a Nat 5, and being crit required. So she will do less damage, be a bit less survivable than Fire Shinobi is, but because she has Courageous Strike on her 3-star, that is very good. She'll be doing a lot of damage either way. We've seen that with Balrona against the Fire Titan, so pairing her with Balrona seems very good to me, and I would need to look into it, but I'm kind of uncertain which would be better now between pairing a Water Indra and Water Balrona compared to a Water Harlequin and Water Balrona, because assuming both Harlequin and Indra are variant, both those variant skills really help Balrona and themselves with their damage dealing. But the difference is Harlequin will be more likely to use her Courageous Strike since it is on 3-star, but her Attack Down is worse. So it's definitely something interesting for people to play around with. And I did mention her leader skill, so water is a very strong candidate for the leader skill if you do manage to only get one variant Harlequin, if you're lucky to get one variant Harlequin, that is. I don't plan on getting one for my main account just because I do have 2 Evo 3 Water Indras and I don't see a need to replace them. Their main purpose for me is the Attack Down more so than the Courageous Strike, so I'm in no rush to remove them, but I will definitely be building this one first. This is on my alt. This is the one I'm prioritizing for my alt, that is. And yeah, that's going to be it for water. I'll get more into the prioritizing after we finish talking about them all. But anyway, let's move on to wood. And here's the regular. Yeah, I love the laugh. Like, I know I said that I'd love it if she did a backflip or something, but still, I just love the laugh. This one, I don't know. I think I like the regular one more for this one. The other one, the colors are a bit too, like, neonish, which, yeah. So looking at the stats, she's a balance type, but her skills do... Or her stats, sorry, are, like, a bit of the reverse of Water's. So, to where they have good HP, but here we have, like, a somewhat lowish attack for a balance type, but a decent defense for a balance type. I should point out that her defense is lower than the attack of Water's, which is unfortunate. You know, it'd be nice if her defense was a little higher, because you do want to build her tanky. Her recovery is very high, and it'd be nice if that was lowered and put into defense. That'd be very nice. Just make her a defender. Shit. Leave her HP and attack the way they are, and just make her a defender, lower that recovery, increase the defense, and I'll be very happy. Anyway, looking at the skills, she has SP Siphon on 3-star for 20%, and Skill Books bring it up to 25% and give a 20% damage boost. On 5-star, she has Petrification 80% 1 turn, and Skill Books bring it up to 2 turns and give a 20% damage boost. So, first off, before I talk about these skills, I do want to point out she is good for PvP and Wood Colossus. Now, let's talk about why. So, 1, the SP Siphon on her 3-star is amazing. For Wood Colossus, we already spoke about Wood Colossus when talking about fire, so I don't really need to go much more into that. But in PvP, SP Siphon is very good because it is you can't resist it. It's irresistible, and it's very annoying. You know, when she takes the... Well, she prevents the bar from being full for somebody that you want to have their bar full, say your Light Succubus, or... Well, no, not so much Light Succubus, but say your Fire Draka or something, you know. Which I do want to point out, you know, because she is a Woodmon, she will have a hard time on defense just because Fire Draka is a thing, but because in the last developer's note, they did announce that there will be 2 different Rebirth Mons, Nat 5 Rebirth Mons, coming eventually in the coming year. That gives me hope that will start to move past the Draka meta, or he'll become, like, less standard, I guess. I don't know. Like, I'm really hoping that he gets... Or she, sorry, because Draka is a female, because she is Draconess. I do really hope that, like, the new Nat 5 Rebirth Mons make Wood Mons on defense a bit more viable. So, yeah. There's that. But speaking about the skills, though, 25% SP Siphon is pretty good. There isn't really... It brings it out to the point where Magi doesn't, like, prevent you from... doesn't fill up the bar automatically for you. It brings it up to the point where 2 morale boosts, like team morale boost Mons, unless fully booked, can't fill it up back to full in 1 turn. Speaking, like, to name a couple specifically, Dark Sparket, Light Succubus, and Water Djinn, all of their things is only 10%, so you need at least 3 of them, unless they're fully booked, because fully booked they all go up to 15. Actually, I'm not sure about Dark Sparket, but Light Succubus and Water Djinn do go up to 15, and then Draka is 15 as well, so you'd only need 2 of them in that case. But either way, the Petrification as well, being 2 turns, is really nice. Very good, especially for CVC. Being able to prolong the timer, or not prolong the timer, being able to dwindle down the timer by slowing down your opponent's attacks. Really good. It's really good there. But anyway, let's move on to Light, because I feel like there's nothing else to say about Wood. On this account, I'm actually prioritizing Wood, because I really like it. Not to say that it's the best. Not at all. I'll get more into that later, but I just want to say that I just really like it. Anyway, here's Light and the regular. I really like the regular. Here's the variant. It's too much yellow. I like that the regular has like different colors. It has some pinks. Well, it's a lot of pink, but there's blue there as well in the hair, which is very nice. I really like it. Looking at the stats, she is a defender. Her HP is about the same as Wood's, and her attack is a little lower, but her defense is a lot higher. Her defense is actually really good, and so is her HP. Her attack is okay, but you don't really need her for damage anyway. Looking at the skills, she has damage reduction on 3-star. We've only seen this skill on 3-star with Sonic, which is a Watermon, and I'll speak more on that in a second. On 5-star, we have Fearless Taunt, 80% 1 turn, skill with bring it up to 2 turns and give a 20% damage boost. Forgot to mention damage reduction on 3-star gets a 25% damage boost from books. Can't speak. Anyway, this mon is kind of tricky. So she's definitely interesting because she is a defender with decent stats and she has Fearless Taunt on her 5-star. But damage reduction alone on 3-star isn't that good for a defender because it doesn't have any threat, or it doesn't pose any threat to an attacking team. All it tells the opponent is that they're going to ignore this mon. So if you have a Light Banshee on your PvP defense team and somebody attacks your defense team, they're going to see, or did I say Light Banshee? Light Harlequin. They're going to see Harlequin there and they're just going to ignore it because until she gets her bar full, she doesn't pose a threat. Because she's just going to sit there, do minimal damage, and if you do attack her, she's going to take half damage anyway. So you're not going to be really doing much there. So they will prioritize other mons on your defense team. Personally, I think damage reduction, unless it's on a team like with Silver and Light Valkyrie, in that case, it's good for defenders and stuff. But if it's on the 3-star, on just the one mon, I think it's better for attackers like Sonic because you can gem them fully offensively and they'll do a lot of damage and they'll be able to still tank hits because they'll be reducing their damage by half. So I feel like her 3-star should be changed to Fearless Taunt. If her skills were switched, she'd be a lot better, in my opinion. Actually, no, I think that's a common opinion. Yeah. From other people that I've heard speak about her have said the same thing. So, yeah. And where you'd use her, PvP defense is really the only place I see her having a use. You can use her for attack, I guess, as just like a light tank or like a lure. If you're facing a team that has a lot of dark mons, she'd be good for that, I guess, because you can build her fully defensively, and the damage reduction is good there because the AI will be targeting her. But on defense, the damage reduction isn't that great because a person manually controlling their mons can just ignore her. But anyway, let's move on to Dark, the last of the Harlequins. Where is it? There it is. Here's the regular. Here's the variant. I do like the variant more. It's kind of like, I can't even think of it, but it's kind of, I can't think of what it reminds me of. But I do like the dark color schemes. Looking at the stats, she is an attacker, and she has a good attack stat. It'd be nice if it was a little bit higher, but it's alright. Her HP is good for an attacker, and her defense is average for an attacker. Nothing crazy. Looking at the skills, she is Elemental Edge on crit on 3-star, and skill books give a 20% damage boost. On 5-star, she has Predator, 40%. Skill books make that 50% and give a 15% damage boost. I don't know why they did it that way. If I were the devs, I would have just made it a 50% Predator and then gave a 25% damage boost from books. I think it ends up being the same, but I'm not sure. I don't know the way damage is calculated for this game. But anyway, doesn't really matter. Books just give her more damage. That's all you need to know. Where you can use her, you can actually use her in a lot of places because she's a dark attacker, and the Elemental Edge is helpful. It does make her a bit more viable in more places than other dark attackers. So first off, PvP, of course, dark attackers are good there. Unfortunately, crit resistance is a thing, so dark attackers aren't as viable as they used to be. Crit resistance definitely needs a nerf because it's really fucking annoying. But anyway, Sorry. Crit res just made me mad. I just got mad out of nowhere from it. You can also use it for Titans as a dark attacker just to deal damage. You don't have to worry about crit res there, so that's good. But you will fall off in damage when you get like courageous strikers and stuff like, and unflinching strikers as well, just because, you know, their multiplier is higher. But her damage is very nice. It'll be good until you get those. You can use it for farming. Just like story stages, the elemental edge means she can go anywhere, and the predator is nice for that extra damage boost when she gets her AoE. So it's really good for Siphon. Then you can use it for GB10 for the same reason. You can use it for DB10, but should point out that elemental edge won't help there. You really want her to get, you'll need her on like a Siphon set or something so that she can get her bar full, because you'd rather have her for her predator, because elemental edge doesn't help against a fully light dungeon because she already has elemental advantage. You can also use it for light Colossus, just as a general dark attacker, but again, the same thing there. Elemental edge doesn't help against light mons. You can use it for fire Colossus, just when you're going with the full nuking method. Same with wood Colossus, you can use it there just for damage, and against the dark Colossus just for damage. And how I would gem, oh, I forgot to mention how to gem light. I'll mention that after. So for dark, you'd want to gem her fully offensively. You need a crit rate gem because she does require crit for 3-star. So crit rate attack, crit rate attack, crit damage. If you want to put a survivability gem, I'd probably go with a defense gem. Probably. But personally, I would just go crit rate attack, or crit rate attack, crit damage. So that's what I would do there. For light, I would go HP defense, but you can also go HP defense. Either way works, but I think HP defense would be better for her. Now, how I would prioritize them. So water is number 1 because it is a really good Titan mon. So if you're into Titans, water is what you want. Next, I would put dark because it is a dark attacker and can be used in a lot of content. Next is a tough one. Okay, you know what? I did put in my notes that next I would put light, but I'm actually going to change that to wood. Because after speaking about light a bit, I've kind of knocked it down a little bit in my mind. So wood is 3rd. Honestly, I could possibly see wood going to like above dark if Fire Draka didn't exist. But because it does, wood is only 3rd. Then I put light at 4th because while she is good, she is very tanky. She can just be ignored until she gets her bar full, which can take a little while, depending on RNG. And then fire is last because her skills don't really work together. And yeah, so that's going to be it for Harlequin, which is the first Rebirth Mon of the year. A new Mon to start off a new year, the new decade. Hopefully, this means that we're going to be getting a lot more new Mons this year. I know in the dev notes they did say that we're going to be getting a couple new Nat 5s. They said we're going to get 2 Nat 5 Rebirth Mons, and they did mention 2 other non 5-star Rebirth Mons that we would get, being one that's based on the same lore that Enkidu is from, so I'm guessing Gilgamesh, and then one based on Vitra, the monster that we have for the world boss. So we'll finally get like another sort of dragon-like thing. Well, I think that thing's more like a wyvern. I don't know. I don't want to get into the technicals of it or anything like that. But we got a lot of new mons that we're looking forward, or that are coming up this year. That's what I meant to say, which is very exciting for me. So I'm very happy about that. And then also something I should mention, with the reveal that there's going to be a new sort of league coming out that focuses on 1 to 3-star mons. I will try to cover more 1 to 3-star mons because I noticed that I have been covering a lot of 4 stars lately. So yeah, we're going to be doing that. I have covered a couple Nat 2s recently, though, just to mention that. But maybe, I'm thinking about it, but I should make a video of mons that have potential to be like top tier in that PvP. Yeah. That's something that I'll play around with. But anyway, here's the Harlequins that I have going for me. I do have wood that I'm working on. I don't really want to throw away this water because I do like its gem slots. I love it when it has one of each, but I'm going to be focusing on my wood from now on. That can be misinterpreted in many ways. Anyway, well, not many ways, just like one way, but that way is... Anyway, we're going to end the video there. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell if you want to stay notified for whenever I upload, because as soon as school starts, I will end up being a bit more sporadic with uploads, I think, depending on how heavy my workload is. But we'll find that out as things come. You know, school starts January 6th, so we'll find out sometime soon after that. But anyway, have yourselves a good day, everyone, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.